when my great-grandmother passed away. The one that nurtured me, the one that took care of me more than my mother, in some way, more than my grandmother. My great-grandmother was like the centerpiece of my individuality. And I think that is definitive, it's the definition of who I am now as a human being because of my great-grandmother. She's old, so when you're old and you've been through many wars, I would say around 60, 70, and she's a very tall woman. So for my great-grandmother, she became an object during the war. And when our village became bombed, she felt like she could not be carried on the back of her grandson anymore. She could not be carried on the back of her son anymore. She decided her time must go. And I remember in our house right there before the big bomb, there was some fresh pine wood that one of my uncle from my aunt's husband, he worked back in the day. You know, the French came to Laos for one particular reason, to harvest the beautiful aromatic pines of Laos. I don't remember exact word for it, but Jiang Dong Tu Shua, those are the words the Hmong people yearn for as a coffin for their grave. And those are the fine woods of Laos. And to think of that, my grandmother was given this plywood, beautiful aroma wood on the back of our house. And each day she would go, my great-grandmother would go, place her hand gently over the wood and say to herself the soft, soothing love song on those wood, that her day is finalized. And I was witness to that as a young kid. So when the war came, my grandmother felt like she had to let her life go so she would not be a burden to my father and my grandfather. And the saddest part was I have two versions to tell. One version by my great-grandmother, and most people think of life as their life only, but I think of my life as my great-grandmother's life, because she harnessed the strength of who we as human beings are. I think Hmong people tend to look up for men, but I think the reverse is the most correct. Women are the stronghold of the household. And I say that because of my great-grandmother.